Hello, gorgeous. How are you? Caitlin, Psychic Moon Mentor here. Excited to bring you day 3 of Manifestation Week. All week long, I have been sharing my best manifestation tips and tricks for you to manifest something new. So excited to be here with you today. Say hello. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Drop it in the comments. I connect with people all over the world, so I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. And let me know what time of day you're catching this as well. Drop that time in the comments. And for a fun exercise, you could also take that time, enter that number into a Google search, as well as the meaning of the angel number, and see what comes up for you and see what message spirit has for you today. So today, oftentimes with manifestation, we think about manifesting something new, right? We're after something that we don't have currently or we haven't experienced yet. And so that's what we're kind of going to talk about today, this newness, this new abundance that you want. On Monday, I encouraged you to get detailed, get specific. What is it that you want to manifest? If it's a job, what's the job title? What are the job skills? What are your strengths that you're going to be utilizing at that job? What's the money that you want to make? Get detailed, get specific. Today, I'm going to talk about my experience partially in love and romance, which maybe that's your goal too. You might have a health goal, whatever it is for you. It could be anything. Abundance means so many things, right? Can be a specific emotion. It can be money, but it isn't always money. It can be soul tribe and friendship and connection. If you feel called, you can drop that in the comments, what you're manifesting, or you can just drop the word manifest. Keep that goal to yourself, but help us and allow us to give you some energy and some good vibes towards your manifestation. So for a quick recap, on Monday, I was talking about a conversation I had with a friend who was inquiring about this and manifesting, and they wanted something new. They, from the sounds of it, to me, were in a spiritual awakening, are in a spiritual awakening, and could sense that change. Maybe some actual changes had taken place in their life, and we're at this precipice of not really being in the old life anymore, not really identifying with their old self, their old routine, and yet not quite fully arriving to the new experience, to a new flow, to a new routine, having exactly what it is that they want to experience in life. And so the question posed to me was, what do I do with that time? What do I do with this free time? If I stop doing these activities that got me to a certain point where I wanted to be, got me certain success, then what else am I going to do? And so some of you may know, but they were asking the perfect person. So my experience, some of you may know, last year was going through a divorce, and the first 3 months were pretty good, pretty cooperative, and then it got really chaotic, and it got really messy, and I was not able to do what I did before. My whole routine changed because it had to. One, partially I decided that it would, and then also I was not able to and kept from seeing my kids as often as I wanted, and there was a lot of drama and pettiness, right? And so I couldn't do what I used to do, which for the last 5 years since I had my oldest was caregiving and taking care of everyone else except for myself. Luckily, at the end of 2024, before the chaos and drama ensued, I was already making forward movement to create positive change in my life, taking better care of myself, putting myself first, prioritizing what I wanted, following what felt good, because I knew how I didn't want to feel. I knew a certain experience, and I knew that I wanted to feel good. I just wanted peace and contentment, and so, as well as happiness. And so I started with what was in my control. And for me, I kept it simple. At the time, at the end of 2024, I picked like 5 simple activities that I knew for me personally brought me joy, helped me feel good, which for me was journaling, was exercising every day, was meditating, was doing bullet journaling, which, if you don't know, that's a way to kind of make your own calendar and planner, and it's like a creative outlet. I love it because I use all my different colorful pens, and I love it. And pull a card for the day. So I would pull a tarot card or an oracle card for the day. And I did those things because it aligned me with what felt good. Now today, day 3, manifestation week, the action of the day is to behave in a new way. Do something new, right? And the energy with the astrology right now is perfect for this, to take action towards your goals. So day 1, hopefully you got clear on what it is that you wanted. Day 2, hopefully you did that activity. If not, make sure that you're in the group. I have it linked somewhere here, Moon Manifesting Lunar Abundance, and catch those replays. And today, the activity and encouragement is to try something new. This can be so simple to increase your odds of success. I encourage you to keep it simple, like do the easiest thing possible. I'm going to list several different examples just to throw out some ideas. If you know what it is right now that you're going to do the new thing, drop it in the comments, inspire someone, and throw out an idea. So it can be super simple, right? When we want something new, it's important to do something new. So Monday we created space. Now we're moving forward. Tuesday we played, and now we're acting and putting more momentum towards that manifestation, which we want, right? We're getting back into a masculine energy. So yesterday, or day 2, we played with the divine feminine energy, flow, creativity, creation. And now, day 3, we're getting back into divine masculine energy, right? If you know, you know, nothing tied to gender, pure energy, practical, tangible, action-oriented, forward movement, forward momentum. So do something new. It can be so simple. You could wear something new. You could, so many of us drive the same routes every day. Take a new route, even if it's just partial, like drive a new route. Go to a new grocery store. Eat something new. Go to a new restaurant. Talk to new people. Welcome in this new so that you can manifest. It will help you get into the energy and the vibration of that which you seek. Another thing I did last year a lot, both before the drama chaos and during it, was listening to music, right? And so for me, at the time, right, I had left a relationship where I just wasn't being treated the way I wanted to be treated. And to get into the new vibe of that, I would listen to music, and I listened to a lot of love songs, and I listened to a lot of uplifting music and spiritual music, because if anyone's had a heartbreak, lost a relationship, you know, you have all these feelings and grief and change, right? And it's not that went away or I didn't experience it. And yet at the same time, doing this work, being a, behavioral change specialist, being a health coach, being a spiritual mentor, I know that both things can exist at the same time. So even in those deep periods of grief, you can still experience joy and sadness. You can still experience peace and anger, right? This and that can be true at the same time. And so maybe I'll put my playlist in the comments or something later and let you know some of what I listen to. If you're just joining us, say hello. Let us know where you're joining in from. If you're ready to manifest this week, manifestation week, and manifest abundance, drop 222 in the comments. Spread the good vibes. Chelsea, hey girl, hit me up, call me, text me. We'll get together soon. Yes, so doing something new. Music is such a good tool because it evokes emotion. It helps us connect so deeply with emotion. And yes, there were days where I played a sad song. It's like, okay, I'm gonna cry. And then most of the time, because I wanted to feel better, because I wanted to feel joy, because I wanted to feel contentment, I consciously chose positive, uplifting, loving music. And that's what I'm inviting you to do today as you try something new, as you take a new action, as you whatever it might be. Hey, Nancy, whatever it is that you may feel called towards. And as you do so, it's amazing what shows up as you take that new action. It helps, right, your brain notice new things because we're human. We're human. It's built into us to want to stay with the familiar because we think it's safe. Our survival mechanism, right? Your nervous system, familiar is thought to be safe. And so that's why we stick with things that aren't actually working. We stay in relationships that don't serve us. We stay in pain and misery as humans because change is scary and it's wired in your nervous system for that to be so. But doing some of these things today, going through this manifestation process can hopefully dispel some of that fear, and you can get some support in the group. And from me, if you're not already in the group, again, join Moon Manifesting Lunar Abundance Facebook group. I'd love to support you in there. It's a great community, great tribe. All right, anything else? Let me check in on my notes real quick. Yes, okay, so it's amazing what happens, and it's amazing what starts to show up when you do that, when you take new action. And so for me, at the time last year, I give this example because it's kind of the most prominent, gigantic change I've made in my life. I started to see proof of what I wanted, right? And so one of the first things I saw was I was out with new friends, and one of them got a call from her brother, and her brother was all excited, and he had just proposed to his girlfriend and got engaged, and she said yes, and it was a video call, so you could see like his little setup and the candles and the rose petals and whatever, and she was of course excited for him, and even that, right, as I saw that, I chose in that moment to see that as, yes, love is around me, love is out there. I might not have what I want now, right? I might not have manifested in my life what I want yet, but that is proof. That is proof that it is around me. That is proof that it is close to me. And that's proof that it's on its way to me. Another example, right? Because for me at the time, my goal was so much with family and love and relationship and tenderness and care. I already mentioned, right, the things I started to do for myself to take personal control and responsibility for my own happiness and do things, journaling, pulling a card, etc., that lift me up, as well as those new things, new action, new workouts. Another example, when I would see, I was in the grocery store, and I saw a father with his child, and it was just the two of them, a man and his child. And I was like, holy moly, that's a miracle. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Having been myself in a relationship, and also just in my youth, like, mom goes to the grocery store, right? If you're a kid, you go to the grocery store with mom. Like, that was more familiarity to me. And I was like, yes, that's what I want. I want a man who can go to the grocery store by himself. I want a man who can freaking cook. I want a man who wants to spend time with his kids, with his family, and is capable of doing that without me being there all the time. And so it was like a man and like a little toddler, and they were like around the bananas, and he was like, yeah, banana, and the toddler could like barely talk. And I was like, oh, that's so cute, right? And so as you do these new things, as you take new action now, today, this week, and beyond, it's amazing what starts to show up for you, and your brain and your subconscious, your reticular activating system starts to point those things out to you. And two, I'm just being reminded of a card my client pulled today, which was of the first quarter moon, which speaks about challenges. And so as we do new things, right, oftentimes a little bit of fear creeps in and challenges arrive. Now, I could have chose in those moments to see those things as, oh, I don't have that. Oh, I don't have that. Oh my gosh, that's never going to happen for me. I could have thought that, but that wouldn't have been in alignment with what I want. That would have brought me down. That would have felt, insert whatever emotion fits in the comments there for me. What else was another one? Another example that was so cute, I was at the movie theaters, and there was this old couple, and so often it's cold in the movie theater, right? And there was this old couple, and this lady was like putting on her sweat jacket, and then the gentleman like helped her and straightened it out. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so sweet. But same thing, I was like, yes, that's what I want. That is coming into my sphere. That is what I'm calling in. And I chose to feel and be connected and grateful for that. So as you try your new thing this week, as you take that new action that's aligned with very practically your manifestation, whether it's if you want a new job, maybe you're applying for jobs. If you want new friendship, new connection, new soul tribe, maybe you're traveling to a new place or a specific event that might be new for you, and calling that in a very practical way. Let yourself be open and hopeful and grateful as you do those things, even with the fear, right? Even with this and that can be true at the same time. All right, let's see. And again, it's like as you do this, so many beautiful things happen that you could never expect, that you could never plan for. And that's what helps make it so beautiful, honestly. And, you know, as humans, it's partly natural to want to have control and to like tighten our grip and be like, if only this happened, if only that person did that. And like, but then you're wanting to force and control everything. So there is this balance, right? Of, yeah, you can take personal action and like surrendering and just trusting that you are doing what you can and the universe is going to meet you. One example of that, I have my little reminder here, is this deck that I love so much. So last year, amid like the chaos, stuff was just getting bad with my co-parent, and there was more drama and chaos and like pettiness and whatever, things that happen during breakup and loss and divorce. And it was my birthday month last year, and I always use this deck at Niantic Yoga Studio. Some of you who follow me for a long time have maybe seen it. It's this beautiful watercolor deck, and usually I'll post it in a story and pull a card and tag Niantic Yoga Studio in Niantic, Connecticut. And the creator of this deck, who has moved but was in Connecticut, and so we had connected before, and she's like, oh, I want to give you a copy of the deck. Like, I really do. But I'm moving soon. And for whatever reason, we just weren't able to connect. And then one day last year in July, I'm headed to get coffee. And just like randomly to me, right, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go to this coffee place. Let me go down to this one. Okay. I get there. And then as I'm come in the drive-thru and roll down my window, I hear, Caitlin? I'm like, yes. She's like, oh my God, I'm leaving town. It was the creator of this deck, Katie. And she was like, oh my God, I'm leaving town right now. Hold on a second. I have the decks in my car. I want to give you one. I'm meeting my girlfriend here. I'm literally headed out of town. Beautiful. I would call that a synchronistic moment. Gifted. Thank you, Spirit, for an early birthday gift last year. Which Katie probably didn't even know was my birthday month. Leo, what can I say? Leo, I celebrate all year long, or not all year long, all month long. And it was beautiful. And then it was like a quick exchange of like, oh, I don't know. Okay, I'll reach out the window, and in the drive-thru, got this. And it's like little things like that again is abundance, was totally, completely unexpected. And yet beautiful, and yet pure and genuine and heartfelt, right? And so every day I've been pulling a card. So because it ties into that newness, I want to pull a card from this deck, and then I also want to pull a card from one of the new decks that I got. Chelsea says, oh girl, I remember. Chelsea, I was there, and look, now I'm here around the same time. Isn't that crazy, girl? What is happening now? The end of Cancer season. I wonder where Cancer is in your chart. Chelsea. For me, it's my, maybe we're not pulling from this deck because usually the cards fly for me. Okay. There she goes. Breathe deeper. The end of Cancer season, breathe deeper, connecting to calm. That could be part of it. So self-note is an energy I'm in a lot because self-note is where you're very familiar and practiced. And so that's something people tell me all the time. Oh my God, you're so calm. Oh my God, I love your energy. You're so calm. So maybe that's part of it. But then heading into Leo season, it's like, baby, fire, shine, get out there, forward movement. Ugh. 0 Cancer. Maybe that's why. One of my girlfriends, Randy, super into astrology, told me before in a conversation, like, it's interesting how sometimes in our friend group we'll have like the placements that we're not, right? So I have a ton of earth in my chart and not a lot of water, but I love being around water signs because they're more connected to spirituality, and I just love it. And then I help support ground them. So I don't know, it's interesting. Listen. So maybe it's those attributes of water and Cancer for you, Chelsea, but for the rest of us here too, connecting to manifestation, connecting to feeling good, connecting to trust and faith and flow as we, yes, take some practical action, but balance that too with listening, with stillness, with nurturing ourselves, with breathing deeper on the bottom of the deck. Let's go to the guidebook. Listen. Shut off the radio in the car, put down the phone, pause your show, and listen. Listen to the rain on the roof. Listen to the hum of an air conditioner. Listen to the leaves rustling outside. It's been raining here in Connecticut this summer, and my advice to people has been like, go do nothing. Go do nothing, or like, go dance in the rain. Go just listen to the rain. And I feel like sometimes they look at me like, you're crazy. That's off. Why would I do that? But yes, like, because it will align you to abundance, because it will center you. Listen to the leaves rustling outside. Listen to people, especially when they are sharing of themselves. Listen to your own thoughts. What are they saying to you about you? We can learn so much if we listen with intention. If we're constantly bombarded with busyness and overstimulation, we lose touch with listening and getting quiet. Losing that quiet space moves us farther away from connection, which that conversation that I shared, that I had with my friend on Monday, and the one I shared at the beginning of this live, that was my advice to them, like, do nothing. Sit in stillness. I think they got a little like frustrated at me, but it's like, this is why, because you want connection. That's how you're going to get it, by first connecting to yourself, by slowing down. Quiet space moves us further away. If we lose that quiet, it moves us further away from connection to the world, to each other, and to ourselves. Listen. All right. And I'm obsessed. This is my favorite deck right now. It's called Liminal Space. And some of you may know, if you know, you know, that liminal space, that in between, that void. You're not quite who you were, the past version of yourself. You're not quite the new version of yourself that you want to be, that has the thing actually manifested in their life, that's had the experience, that has the abundance, that has that manifestation here and now. And oh, the experience to be in that space. If you need some support with that, that's exactly what I do as a spiritual mentor. Feel free to message me. Ooh, we're listening, we're trusting, we're having faith. I haven't pulled this card from this deck before. You may never know. Oh, this is like a Houdini act. You may never know. Let's see, I bet it says something about taking action towards what you want, leaning into the risk, leaning into the mystery. Maybe I will share my playlist. That's one of my favorite songs. I think it's by Mumford and Sons. Some of the lyrics are like, can you ever really know? Will you ever really know? Until you act, until you move forward, until you take a chance, until you take a risk and go after it, you may never know. All right, let's see. the last card in the deck. Interesting. The last card in the deck. So someone here or catching the replay, it's like you've had an ending. You've had an ending, and part of you subconsciously, internally is still like bracing for what you had experienced in the past. But it's like confirmation of, no, that's over. That's over. Lean into the new beginning. Lean into the happiness. Lean into what you want. You may never know. And truth be told, what would be gained at this point if you did? Be patient towards all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves. Like locked rooms and like books, they are now written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given you, because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the question now. Perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. So enjoy the mystery of it. Enjoy the not knowing. See if you can still play and be and breathe and listen while you're in that between space, while you're in the in-between of things that aren't as they were, and yet aren't exactly what you want yet either. Now this card I keep getting, splitting the deck to take the high road. The high road, which I know what that's about. Thank you. It's a new dress, new to me this summer. 0. I'm just checking the comments. Belinda, hello, gorgeous. This makes me think about my girls, because wonder what would be happening right now. Yeah. I would be 37 weeks. Girl, 37. If 37 isn't haunting me. Look, we all have messages for each other. I for Belinda. Chelsea for me. 37. Okay. With them, and all I do is wonder who they'd be. Yep. Wonder who they'd be, who you'd be. And in some of my darkest times, you know, a spiritual truth is that we're never alone, and separation is a lie. It's a falsehood. And sometimes that spiritual lesson is like real hard to sit with, because as humans we can feel alone and hurt and sad and like all the things, and yet we're not alone. And there's beautiful ways we can connect with spirit, our angels, ourselves. Not that it takes the hurt away, but there's something beautiful that it brings to sit in that knowing at the same time. You know, this and that can be true at the same time. Yes, girls, sending you so much love and light. So glad that you're here. Yay! All right, thank you. And thank you to whoever is catching the replay as well. Drop some comments, drop some love. Let me know what that new thing is that you're doing. Know that next month I have some exciting happenings as we dive in even deeper into manifesting. The Mystery School, Moon Mystique, is revamped and reopening next month, one of the most abundant times of the year. Leo season, Lionsgate is on its way, and I want to help you manifest. My passion is to help people shine and be in their power and manifest abundance, because that is what this life is for, and you deserve it and you can have it, and I can help you align with your inner truth and know how to trust your intuition. Inside the Moon Mystery School for the month of August specifically, we're going to dive into soul purpose. You're going to get your unique soul purpose blueprint written out for you, and a guide for that based on your unique birth chart, one of my favorite things to do. as well as psychic guidance, personal psychic guidance every week, a manifestation practice community inside that space every month. And I'm so excited to bring that to you. So if you're interested, you can drop Mystery School in the comments below. Otherwise, I can't wait to see what you manifest this week, manifestation week. Drop it in the comments or hop in my DMs. I would love to support you and just hear about what's going well in your life. Sending you so much love and light. Till tomorrow, happy moon manifesting.